All right, so now I'm going to move on to desensitizing him to a different halter. So he's had that rope halter on before. He's fine with that. And I'm going to put it on in the same way, so like up over the ears. But I'm just going to use this leather halter. So this is the first time seeing that leather halter. I'm just going to have the nose band kind of touch his nose, and I'll click and go ahead and feed him. So I want to kind of almost start over with the halter now that he's got this new one, because it smells different, it looks different, and sounds different. That's going to be the most important part, is that it makes a lot more noise than that rope halter does. So I really want to build up his confidence with it. So that was pretty good. Went and put the crown piece up over his face and just kind of get him used to putting his face in the halter. So I ran out of food, had to get some more, and then we'll just start again with this. So I get my halter fixed together. And then once it touches his nose, I'm going to click and then feed. And then repeat. Put a little bit farther up his nose, click, and then feed. So I'm clicking while the halter is on his face, and then immediately taking it off and then feeding him some hay. And I'm letting him chew for a minute, so he's doesn't have quite as much in his mouth, but I do want him to kind of keep chewing as I go. Just keep him nice and relaxed, just so he has a little something to do. If you have a horse that's not as fearful, or a domestic horse, they probably don't need to do that. But for Atlas, it kind of helps him out a little bit. So I'll put the halter a little bit further on and then repeat. I'm going to click and then feed him again. That was really nice. So he's generalizing pretty well with the rope halter and this leather halter, so that's good. And this one has the like 3-piece connection kind of under the chin where you put the lead rope. The ones that kind of slide, and it slides on the noseband, they might be a little bit scarier because they make a bit more noise. So I would just make sure you're nice and desensitized to that before you put it on. So click again. That was nice. It's pretty much on at this point. I'm just making sure he's cool with that. But yeah, if you have that piece that goes under the chin, you might want to move it around a little bit near him, make sure he's used to the sound before you go ahead and put it on. Just depends on how sensitive your horse is. Go ahead and put it on him again. Really nice. Go ahead and buckle it, and we're good to go. So I clicked while I was buckling, so that movement. So I'm rewarding him for standing still while I move. So this is just a leather halter. He's a little worried about it. I'm not sure if it's the halter or if it's like the bugs, or I'm not sure exactly why he moved there, but he came back, so he was not too concerned. He might have been being bit by a fly or something, so that's good. But this is just a leather halter. Like, it's gonna break if something happened. I'm going to take it off of him. He doesn't wear it all the time, so I'm just gonna click as I take that off. That was really nice. He stood nice and quiet for me. I'm just gonna repeat, like, taking it on and off. I want him to be really good at that, so make sure he's cool with that whole process, because he was worried about like me putting my hand over his neck, and he can be a little touchy about his pulse, so I want to make sure that he's cool with different halters before I just go to put one on him and then he gets scared. So that looks really good. Letting me buckle it up, not worried at all. That looks really nice. And it's gonna feel a little bit different once it's on their face and make some noise, so he might want to move around a little bit, and that's fine. So just make sure that you're doing this in a safe place. He's outside the round pen because it's really hot out, but he is inside of a fence. So, and he's next to his pasture, so if he wanted to, he could just run back in there. I want to eat this, and then we'll take it off again. I'm just gonna move him so the camera can see here, because he's kind of got turned around. And he knows how to target my hand, so he'll just kind of follow my hand here. And you're close, but you gotta go the other way. There we go. So at this point, he is not halter broke yet. Like, I can put the halter on him, but we have not learned to lead yet, so I'm still relying on the targeting to get him to move and position him where I need him. So he does know the hindquarter yield. That was one of the first videos we did, so I'm just kind of getting him straightened out here so the camera can see. So go ahead and take this off. And he's keeping his head really still when I'm putting it on and taking it off, so that's really, really nice. So I my plan here was to start teaching him to lead. So this is just a piece of twine. It's been cut off of hay bale, so it's just one long string. And I wanted to break down the leading for him in really small pieces because he's really afraid of ropes. So I wanted to use something that was thinner than a rope and that I could just kind of let go if he got too worried and it wouldn't drag after him and terrify him. So that's where the piece of twine came in. So I'm just going to desensitize him to it at first. He was a little worried about it. As soon as it touches him, I'm going to click and feed him. So I want him to just kind of get used to the rope and it kind of being under his face and moving around, because the plan is to kind of loop that through the bottom of his halter and then kind of start teaching him to lead with it, because it's not as big and scary as the lead rope and he can still learn to move off of pressure. And then if I need to, I can just let go one side, it'll slide through and it'll be no big deal, or I can let go and it'll slide off. So that was the thinking behind that, but I'm just getting him used to it on both sides of his neck first, making sure he can see it moving around. I think a bug flew into me, so then I jumped and then he got scared, so I just got him back and repositioned here. So he went to his pasture and then I just had him target my hand and come back. So just gonna end on a good note and desensitize him to this piece of twine real quick, and then he can be done and we'll work on leading the next time, because I didn't want to end on that note when he got scared. So and then when the twine is on him, I'm just going to click and take it off.